feel like I know Alice. She was and is one of the favourite figures that I ever got to portray as interpreter at the Tower of London. And for that reason, on the plus side, that meant I got to deep dive her story, really try to get inside of her head, and I spent months with her. But equally, I also spent months with her, and she sort of feels like a friend. A very dangerous friend, for sure, but a friend nevertheless. But with all that being said, I still want to talk about her, and so I'm going to. Let's see Alice. The full story of Alice's life and crimes is unclear. The narrative remains obscured. We aren't sure, for example, when she was born or where. I have seen some secondary accounts refer to her as being a native Londoner, but I have yet to see a primary source that backs that up. So if anybody has seen it, please do send it my way. We aren't even sure what her name was. She is variously referred to as Alice Tankerville, Alice Tankerfell, and Alice Wolfe. The last of these comes from, we assume, the man who may or may not have been her husband, John Wolfe. He was a merchant of the steel yard, which is the place of doing business for the Hanseatic merchants that is now covered by Cannon Street Station. That John Wolfe did business in a place that was tied to the Hanseatic League makes some sense. And it supports the fact.
Please tell me you win a Warden. If you didn't go a Warden.
We assume that this means that he originated out of Cologne.
He did
Through
too.
these connections,
Oh no, he went Warden.
presumably have had a way to earn money legitimately. However, it also seems clear that John Wolfe was a very naughty man. When it comes to Alice and her profession, like so much about her, that is also unclear. It is intimated that she may have earned at least some of her money through sex work. In Edward Fall's Chronicle, she is referred to as a harlot who frequents strangers' bedrooms. In 1531, the enormous sum of 366 crowns are making their way to England. They are being sent from the continent, and they are intended to fill the coffers of Henry VIII. They go missing. John is swiftly implicated and imprisoned in the Tower of London, I assume awaiting trial and possible execution. During his stay, Alice Wolfe is a frequent and charming visitor. I say charming because she makes it her mission to befriend his jailers. One of these jailers, I believe, is a man called John Ball, and he will become relevant in just a moment. But I think at this time she is befriending his jailers for a different purpose, so that she may make his stay there more comfortable. Because she has been kind in whatever way to these jailers, I think John Wolfe is committed to have greater creature comfort, but Alice is allowed to bring them to him. On this occasion, it seems that luck
What the hell?
is on John Wolfe's side, because he was released from the tower, apparently for lack of
What the hell?
At the same time, and presumably before, his good lady Alice had been going about her own business, and she had managed to work her way into the company of two
Now, whole team of Wardens.
merchants, whose names were Jerome de Georges and Charles Bench. Early in 1533, John and Alice Wolfe decided to take advantage of these friendships, to capitalise on them, if you will. Alice lured her new friends down to the Thames for a boat ride. We aren't quite sure what she promised them, perhaps some nocturnal entertainment, but the men seemingly went willingly. The boat was being rowed by an accomplice of Alice and John. John was hidden in the boat, and when it was far enough out, near a place called the Turning Tree, which I think is presumably far enough away that nothing would be seen, or more importantly,
No, what the fuck?
would be heard, John popped out. The two merchants were murdered, and their bodies were stripped of fine clothes and riches. Their bodies were then tossed overboard. Next, their rooms, presumably also full of very expensive commodities, were ransacked and robbed. All might have been well for Alice and John, but it seems that these robbers had forgotten one vital fact. Eventually, corpses float. rearrested and put back
What the
in
hell?
London. However, unlike before, on this occasion, Alice also came to be suspected. And we can see this
What?
from a letter received by Thomas Cromwell on the 28th of July, 1533, which includes the line, quote, "If the diabolic woman," that's Alice, "escape, we shall be in great jeopardy." It seems unbelievable, but there are certain sources that appear to point to the fact that John Wolfe was once more released. But again, this happened because of lack of evidence. But on this occasion, presumably fearing that his luck might really run out, he flees the island. He leaves Alice behind in the care of jailer John Ball, although she is not in the tower, she is free. Jailer John Ball is doing this as a favour to former inmate John Ball. If the release did happen and the trip to Ireland, then evidently he couldn't have been there very long, because by the following year, 1534, both John and Alice Wolfe are recorded as being imprisoned in the Tower of London for the cost of these murders. During her imprisonment in the Tower of London, we believe that Alice was kept in Cold Harbour Cell, or the Cold Harbour Tower. This building no longer stands. While Alice was there, she seemed to put her charms to good use once again. As part of her imprisonment and punishment, Alice was chained to the wall of her cell. That was until she managed to befriend a quite high-profile person, the daughter of the leper of the tower. This kind, compassionate lady worked to have Alice freed of her chains. Once she was freed of her chains, Alice could make use of another friendship, and it was one that had formed before she was a prisoner, while she was still visiting John Wall a few years previously. It was the friendship that formed between her and jailer John Wall. There is a record of Alice Wall asking John Wall to seek out the Scotch ambassador in the hopes that he might intercede for her and obtain a pardon. She was being threatened with execution. Understandably,
Whoa!
she was desperate for any means of escape. But a pardon, it seemed, was out of reach and would not be forthcoming. She would have to find another way out. She recognised, I believe, that John Ball had growing feelings for her. And these growing feelings...
What the hell?
In her cell in the Cold Harbour Tower, Alice Wolfe now sat unchained. Her inner door was held in place with just a flimsy bit of bone, known as a staple. It could be dislodged with just a shake. John Ball had provided Alice with a counterfeit key for the outer door. He may also have given her a set of men's clothing so that she could wear them as disguise. As darkness fell, she made her way out. She was going to find John Ball, and she met him on the roof of St Thomas's Tower. From there, they used the ropes that John Ball had sourced to climb down to the wall. On the wharf, a small boat known as a lighter was waiting to row them away. The plan was, apparently, to take two horses that were waiting for the pair at the captain's dock. They would ride them to a friend's house, one Mistress Jennings. At this friend's house, they would presumably hide out until they were able to flee the country. Unfortunately, as the couple were walking up Tower Hill, they bumped into the watch. One of the watch, who is recorded as being named Gore, recognised Tower jailer John Ball, and so decided to take a closer look at his companion. Alice was discovered, and the pair were immediately arrested and returned to the tower. Once returned to the Tower of London, John Ball was subjected to torture. He was waxed and placed in a room known as the Little East. This is a room that is so small and so cramped that it is impossible to get comfortable. One cannot stand up, or sit down, nor lie down. It's simply too small. We aren't sure where this room is today. Perhaps it was in the Cold Harbour Cell or Cold Harbour Tower, and so it came down when that block fell. Alternatively, it may be in the bottom of the White Tower, and has since been ripped up and taken away. John Ball was tortured, ostensibly to see if he had co-conspirators in the escape, and possibly to see if they could find out what his motive was. That they were successful in. He would eventually be reported to have said that he was motivated, quote, only by the love and affection he bare to her, Alice Ball. John Ball would be hanged for his betrayal, but his toast
We won!
for helping Alice escape. Alice and John Ball would be reuniting.
Oh, yo, that's worth a clip. That whole game is worth a clip. For real. Me and this team of wardens have been oh, look at those! Look at those! Look at all that.